All right, so this is my iPhone 14 Pro Max with a few accessories that I'll go through a bit later. I'm actually here for a client who's paying me to film a couple of games tonight and tomorrow, but what they don't know is that I intend to do this video with a phone instead of my regular camera. So ultimately, they're either gonna love the video and not see any difference, or they're gonna be really mad at me and I'll have to explain why I did what I did. So either way, should be interesting. All right, so let's get this done, but keep in mind that this is my first time ever filming a sporting event with a phone, so there's definitely going to be a steep learning curve for me tonight. So I did learn a few things filming sports with a phone for the first time. First of all, I was really impressed with how easy it is to be stable compared to a mirrorless camera. My phone was not in action mode or anything like that. I was filming in normal mode, but yeah, barely any shakes. So that was good. The other thing that was good was the battery life. I was a bit scared going in. I brought my charger with me, but filming an entire game of basketball only used about 30 to 35% of the battery. So that was also great. One thing that was not so great was the quality of the footage when I was filming with the telephoto lens, the 3x lens, because I was smart enough not to try to zoom in, because we all know once you start zooming in with a phone, the quality goes down. But using all the three different lenses on the phone, the 3x one was way worse than the other two. I'm not sure exactly why that is. I know that the aperture is different, but I don't know exactly what else is different. Anyway, I'll figure that out later. I just made it to the venue actually for the second game. So again, I'll talk about the accessories a bit later once I'm at the office and I can show them to you guys properly. Some were good. Some were definitely not so good. Anyway, for today, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna basically use what I learned last night to try to film even better footage today.
Yeah, we gotta have a good day. All my people down the ride, turning up into the sky, that's fast. Yeah, I'm about to break it down, babe. I get everything you want, really, just to get a smile real tough. Boy, I get it for my people. Oh, 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 I know we don't get a sequel. No, saying always come and ride with me. There's no time, it's like a present, go and fly with me. You and me, there ain't no limit past the sky with me. Saying rise with me, fly with me, vibe with me. Oh, yeah. Put my people in the high life limelight. They gon' always be the highlight of my life. Everything I do is all for them. Ay. Anything I want, I cop for them. I want the best life, but ain't nothing gonna be right if you just left mine. You be playing for your life, you go and test mine. You don't have to understand me, no. But you will reprimand it though. I got a big vibe, really, but it's fitting for two. No, I mean well, I don't really mean it for you. Unless you my guy, my fam, my sis, my fam. Ooh, oh.
All right, so there is a lot that I want to talk about now that I've had a proper chance to look at the footage. So I'm going to try to go through it quickly because I want to talk about all the accessories that I've used. I want to talk about the app that I was filming with because that obviously played a big role in the final result. I want to talk about all my mistakes as well. But first thing first, I want to address my confusion around the 3x telephoto lens and why it always looked worse than the 1x, the main lens. Well, the reason for that is pretty simple. It's because the main lens on the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max uses a 48 megapixel sensor, while the telephoto lens only uses a 12 megapixel sensor. So obviously with a sensor that is 4 times smaller, the quality will definitely be affected. Another thing that didn't help is this anamorphic lens kit that Freewell sent me. I tried it on during the first game. I stopped using it probably halfway through the game. It's a cool look if you're filming landscapes and things like that, but for sports, it doesn't really work that well. And also the lens is, I wouldn't call it loose. You guys hear that? So there's a bit of movement. So when I'm filming and I'm moving the camera fast, I get the feeling that yeah, it sort of affects the quality, the fact that the lens is not 100% secure. Another thing that's added to this lens is those little blue streaks. When there's lights in the shot, there's blue lens flares that show up in front of those lights, which is kind of cool. But the problem is that when you're using the 3x lens, I don't think it's meant to work well with this, because it sort of zooms into all these effects inside the lens and it just makes everything sort of mushy and blurry, and it doesn't look great. And the other thing as well, that was my mistake, is that when you're using this lens, you're supposed to completely disable any stabilization in your phone. Otherwise, the anamorphic effect mixed with the stabilization does this sort of wobble, which you can probably see right now in my footage. And when I'm panning from left to right, you can see a bit of black on the edges of the screen. Again, I'm not sure if that's part of the wobble or if it's because of the lens shaking a little bit. But all in all, those are the reasons why I stopped using the lens after a while. It also comes, FYI, with all these different ND filters. So again, perfect for outdoors. By the way, Freewell sent me that. They sent me the case as well that attaches the lens. They sent me a bunch of other things that I'm going to show you. All of this was free, but this is not a sponsored video. I didn't get paid. Otherwise, the case, I really like it. It's plastic. It feels like it's protecting my phone. Yeah, here you can see my phone's broken. When I got my iPhone 14 Pro Max, I thought I was doing the right thing by buying an Apple case, right? And a couple weeks later, I dropped my phone from about this high from the ground, and I broke the glass, and instantly I thought, idiot, of course it's gonna break. It's an Apple case. They're in the phone business. They want you to break your screen so that you can pay $600 to get it fixed at the Apple store. So what you definitely want to do if you want a case that actually protects your phone is you want to buy a case from a third party whose only job it is to protect your phone. So that's why the Freewell one is much better than any Apple case, in my opinion. I always put because the only card that I carry around these days is my driver's license. I put it in there. It doesn't affect the MagSafe at all. Freewell are known for their magnets. If anything, that's the thing they do best. So yeah, everything works fine. The other thing I really liked is the grip. These threads here allow you to attach it to a tripod or whatever. There's 3 more on the top. There's also a cold shoe on the top, and there's a Bluetooth shutter. So once you connect this to your phone and you turn it on, you basically attach the grip to the case like this, and then I can just press the shutter here to start and stop my recording. And it hangs on really well. It makes it really easy to hold the phone in a very comfortable way. And you can open this, and it's actually also a selfie stick. So if for some reason you want to use this as a selfie stick, or if you just want to film from a higher point of view, you can. Not only that, but the shutter can actually be removed from there. And as I said before, Freewell are really good with magnets, so you can attach it right there in selfie mode like this. And yeah, all is well. Oh, one thing I really like though is this variable ND that I'm using right now. This is a very cool accessory for the camera. It's cool because it's just one big VND that you put over the entire lens module. So it covers every single lens. And because it's so big, also you won't see any vignetting in your image. And finally, it is a magnetic system, so very easy to put on or take off very quickly. Obviously, I can't really use it indoors filming basketball, but if you're filming outdoor sports, this is really a must when filming with a phone. Otherwise, the app I was using to film was an app called Filmic Pro, which is the best app out there as far as I know to film anything with your phone, because it allows you to control everything just like in a camera. Basically, you can control your white balance, you can control your ISO, your shutter speed, frame rates, all that stuff. So much better than using the regular camera app on your phone. Not only because you can control all these different settings, but also because on iPhone specifically, I'm not sure about the other phones, But on the iPhone, one thing that the iPhone does a lot is just add a shitload of sharpening in post. So you take a photo or you film and it's just so much sharpening, because on a small screen, most people will never watch their photos or footage outside of their phone, right? So they just add sharpening, and on a small screen like that, it makes everything look so good because there's so much detail, but it's fake detail. So when you see it on the computer or on the TV, it looks weird. It looks like super digital, super fake. But when you're filming with Filmic Pro, it doesn't do that. Like, it doesn't add that fake layer of sharpening done in post. So it looks a lot more natural, a lot more cinematic, in my opinion anyway. So yeah, I definitely recommend Filmic Pro if you intend to use your phone regularly. It's like $5 a month, I think, or something like that. There's a free trial for a week, so you can try it out, see how you go. Otherwise, I think I did a good job for someone who didn't prepare nearly enough. If I had actually done my homework and tested all the settings in Filmic Pro, if I had looked into the lenses, especially the anamorphic lens from Freewell, but also the lenses in my iPhone, and prepared myself going into these games knowing what to do, what not to do, basically doing all these things beforehand instead of doing them during my 2 games that I was filming, I would have had a much better result. That's on me. Unfortunately, I can't show you the actual finished product because it's not released yet. My client hasn't released their version of the video, so it would be very unprofessional of me to release it before they do. But you've seen sort of most of the footage anyway as my B-roll. Let me know what you think. Was it sort of what you expected? Was it worse? Was it better? And I'm also curious to know how many of you are filming regularly with iPhones or any other type of phones. And if you are, then do you have any tricks? Do you have any tricks for me now that I have all this equipment? What are you doing to make your videos better? So if you want more tips on how to film sports, especially if you're a beginner, make sure you click on the video on your screen right now. Otherwise, as usual, thank you for watching. My name is E, and I hope I earned the privilege of your time.